The Great Alaskan Earthquake and Tsunami of 1964 by Vetta, Angelow. At 5:36 p.m. on March 27, 1964, on Good Friday, a massive 9.2 earthquake hit across south-central Alaska called the Great Alaskan Earthquake. This tremor is also known as the Portage Earthquake and the Good Friday Earthquake. It lasted for 4 minutes and was recorded as the most powerful earthquake in the U.S. in North American history. The earthquake caused liquefaction throughout the region, which resulted in many buildings collapsing and various structural damages appearing due to fissures and failures. The cause for the earthquake was the northwestern motion of the North American plate. Every year, the Pacific tectonic plate slides roughly 2 inches under the North American plate near southern Alaska. Under intense pressure from the friction, the crust bends and strains until it eventually snaps back into place, as it did that March 27th. This was a subduction zone earthquake, where an oceanic plate sank under a continental plate. The epicenter was in the southeastern coast of Alaska, 125 kilometers east of Anchorage and 20 kilometers north of Prince William Sound. The focus was about 15.5 miles beneath the Earth's crust. It caused about 143 deaths. In downtown Anchorage, the streets became like asphalt waves, and the cars started bouncing up into the air. The airport control tower fell over, while the new JCPenney department store leaned and crashed into the sidewalk. One of the reasons Anchorage suffered so much damage is that it sits on layers of sand and clay, which caused landslides. Some areas near Kodiak Island were permanently raised by 30 feet, while others dropped about 8 feet. Railroad tracks were twisted like spaghetti, while trains and shipment were tossed around like toys. The earthquake caused vertical displacement, or breakage, of landforms, which created massive tsunamis all over the west coast of the United States and Canada. In addition, the earthquake caused underwater landslides and slumps, which produced local tsunamis in Alaska. The effects of the tsunami on Canada were devastating. The village of Hot Springs Cove near Vancouver Island was completely wiped out. Fortunately, the first wave, which struck during the night, was not very large, which gave the villagers enough warning to evacuate and save their lives. The following waves were 21 feet high, which caused extensive damage and flooding. As far as the United States West Coast is concerned, the Alaskan 1964 tsunami was the largest ever recorded in U.S. history. 12 people died, 10 in Crescent City, where the wave was the tallest, 21 feet. In Humboldt Bay and Eureka, the waves reached 14 feet. In San Francisco, they were 3.7 feet. In Half Moon Bay, 10 feet. And in San Diego, 6.5 feet. Only 1 person died in Los Angeles, where the tsunami waves reached 6 feet high. Surprisingly, the tsunami reached as far as Japan and Hawaii. In Hawaii, there were few damages, and the waves reached around 10 feet. In Japan, the waves were only 3 to 10 inches high, which caused no damages. The reason was the orientation of the fault of the earthquake, which was north to south. Over the months after the earthquake, thousands of aftershocks were felt. In the first day, there were 11 aftershocks with magnitudes greater than 6.0. There were 9 more aftershocks over the next 3 weeks. Aftershocks lasted for more than a year after the earthquake, but the last ones were not felt or noticed.